What is going on, friends? We're going to be jumping into the Fantasy Cup. This cup only allows Dragon, Fairy, and Steel type, kind of like a RPG kind of game. But we're going to be using Giratina. We're going to be using Scizor with that Bullet Punch Iron Head to do some nice solid damage to any fairy types that we see. This is an ABB style team with Giratina on the lead being that dragon type, and the two steel types in the back with Berserker and Scizor. Berserker is XL, so you're gonna need XL candies to power it up with the moveset of Shadow Claw and Foul Play, because if I do end up seeing a Giratina in the back, then I have the Berserker for that. Now, the safe swap for this team, I'm gonna utilize Berserker for it, because I can either get to that close combat and get shield advantage or switch advantage without having to rely on that debuff completely knocking me out of the game. So that's the team. These are gonna be the matchups. Excadrill here versus Giratina. Drill Run is going to hurt. You don't necessarily see a lot of Excadrills, because you see the Galarian Stunfisk there, and out comes a Sylveon to finish this game up. Dazzling Gleam, I shield that up because that would do the most damage left in the game. It is their final Pokemon, and Foul Play is going to be resisted, not going to KO. There is no point in throwing close combat in this matchup, everybody, because that would devastate our defense. When you throw the close combat, it debuffs your defense stages by 2. So we're able to Shadow Claw down because Shadow Claw is neutral damage, where Fairy resists Dark and Fighting type. And in comes a Registeel. So when I first started playing these matchups, I had Ancient Power. So I think for this cup, essentially you're going to want to be running Shadow Sneak, because Shadow Sneak does neutral damage against those steel types like Registeel or Lucario that you're going to be seeing. Whereas if you had Ancient Power is going to be resisted. You might get the boost, but you're going to be forced to throw Dragon Claws, because Dragon Claw is also resisted, but you're going to get Stab. And what I mean by Stab is same type attack bonus. You get the same typing with the same move, and you get a little bit of a boost with your attack. So out comes back the Registeel. Gonna be throwing this Night Slash off, hoping for that boost, but we make a sensational catch on the freaking Giratina. Let's go, catching the Focus Blast. Double resisted, everybody, because of that ghost sub typing. And if I had Shadow Sneak there, it would be a lot better. And my opponent is bringing in the Giratina Origin form, hoping I can get to one more Dragon Claw to put this thing down into a farm down range, so my Berserker can come in, have a Focus Blast, close combat locked and loaded for that Reggie. So gonna have to eat a Shadow Ball. We can eat a Shadow Ball, no problem. It hurts, it really does. Even though this thing is XL, we are glassy, and now this close combat is going to be saying left, right, good night, Registeel. And that's a good game. Well played to my opponent. Hopping into the next match, Giratina versus Giratina. This is really all IV dependent. Kind of whoever wins the CMP tie here is gonna be winning this matchup. Now I have two better answers in the back, and I should be swapping out to draw out a Lucario so that I can have Giratina on Lucario. But I kind of make a misplay here, kind of like first little sets playing with the team, and I did not expect a lot of trainers to be running Lucario, but Home Slice Henry really did make it really good, and I'm really glad I did not swap out, because in comes the Sylveon. So anyways, Home Slice Henry dropped a video of Lucario being an amazing closer, and I have been seeing a lot of Tapu Fini, Lucario, and another steel type. I think it's Escavalier or something else, but Registeel. It is Registeel. That is the team that I've been seeing a lot of, kind of different variants of it, because if you don't have the XL candies for Registeel, then you can't play that team, but you can kind of run different variations. So like Scizor is going to be a different variation, but it just does not have the bulk to it. It has nice moves, it has coverage against fairies, but you don't have the bulk. Scizor is a bit glassy, and they get the Hydro Cannon off. That's going to say left, right, good night. And from here, we're just going to shield once and Shadow Claw all the way down. This Empoleon is running Metal Claw. Everybody, you want to be running Waterfall on your Empoleon. Not only is it a high damaging fast move, it is going to generate energy better than the Metaclaw. So that it's called DPS, damage per second and damage per energy. So it's just going to be a heck of a lot better for you to be running that move on Empoleon. Giratina mirror match again. This one is going to be winning CMP tie, and it is running Dragon Breath. Considering I went to 6 Shadow Claws where it's only 5 to the Dragon Claw. So I count to 5, I'm going to throw my Dragon Claw, and I should be swapping to catch the move here. But I don't do that. Instead, I opt to come in with my Berserker, get a nice little farm down, because the Dragon Breaths are going to be resisted, but in comes an Escavalier. And this is what I'm talking about. So if I would have came in, save swapped into, let's say, Scizor, they would have been forced to bring in their Escavalier. And now Escavalier is going to be resisting the counter damage, not resisting, going to be taking neutral damage from the counters because of that steel bug typing, bug resist fighting, but steel is super effective, so they kind of evens each other out. So we would have been taking neutral damage instead of super effective damage on the Berserker. So it would have been nice to have that Scizor on that, but instead they're just going to outpace me to the 3rd dual run. And I'm going to end up losing this matchup because it is now going to be a Alolan Ninetales in the back. And even so, like, even if I would have had my Berserker on that Alolan Ninetales, the only moveset that this Alolan Ninetales has right now is going to be Weather Ball, Psyshock, or Dazzling Gleam. All those are going to be resisted by that steel subtyping. I could have built up to the back-to-back close combats and bam, would have had that game. But it is what it is. It could have went both ways. Giratina into Giratina again. Again, another Dragon Breath Giratina. I'm going to throw the Dragon Claw here, and I do believe I swap out into my Berserker. Yes, I swap out into my Berserker to try to catch a Dragon Claw, but my opponent catches the swap there and throws the Shadow Sneak, which draws out the Lucario. This is the gameplay I'm talking about. So when you draw out the Lucario, I should be throwing close combat here so they don't get extra farm. But I'm throwing the foul play, don't know why. And if they no shield that, then I'm kind of screwed. So I draw out the fighter, have my Giratina on the fighter, and then have Scizor sweep in the back. Excuse me, sorry. So that's how an ABB style team kind of works. You have the front Pokemon that is going to be covering the weaknesses of the back 2 Pokemon, and you potentially swap out into one of your safe swaps so that your other steel type Pokemon is going to be able to sweep in the back. So that is going to be the play of ABB style Pokemon. So for here, I let the Scizor go down, and they double debuff themselves, and there's no shields left. So I'm gonna throw the Dragon Claw to get rid of this thing. I do have a shield up. In comes a Giratina. We are at the back-to-back Dragon Claws, so I'm gonna throw both of them here just to take this thing out. And we have residual energy, but that Lucario is so low and energy dry that a Dragon Claw is gonna be able to take it out. All I have to do is shield up this Power Up Punch, and we are in business here, and that's going to be a good game, well played to my opponent. I went for the Shadow Sneak just because I could have. GG's, nice shiny Lucario. So, thank you all for watching this video. If you were liking the content, please hit that like button. Comment if you guys want to see anything in the future, and like always, I will see everybody in the next video. Oh, you see this video right there? Yeah, you see that one? Yeah, click on that. You'll find some good stuff there.